said from the beginning. Nana Addo has said that the most equitable way of ensuring that every family in Ghana is touched by the commonwealth of this country is to provide fee-free SHS education, because basic education as it stands now is already free. So if you add SHS, it completes the cycle and extend the basic to the SHS level. He sees it as social equity. He sees it as helping push up families which otherwise would stay at a level that would not be fair to them ever. So taxes are going to be used. Yeah. Government revenues are going to be used. It is a leadership choice. Nana is going to decide that when he takes taxes from Mr. X, he's going to invest those taxes in Miss B's child, so that Miss B's child will later become very useful to the society and contribute more taxes, so that Miss B's family will not become a burden to the people of Ghana, and that they contribute positively to the people after Ghana have trained them, which is what President Jomama enjoyed, which is what half his cabinet enjoyed. And that's how come today they are in the cabinet and they want to deny other people of that right. So we said yes, Mr. Otabil has a right to his views, but we are going to use our taxes that way. We're not going to use our taxes to pay fraudulent judgment debts. We're not going to use our taxes to sit in a room, conspire, call people from the streets and tell them that government owes you and pay them the money and pass through the back door and collect the money back. We are not going to do that with our taxes.
Very interesting and very authoritative views that you have expressed. Let me go to Williams. Your initial comments.
Yes, thank you very much, and good evening to the viewers out there. I think on Pastor Mensah Otabil's statement and the press conference that he had today, for me as an individual and also for the NPP, I think that it was a great opportunity for Ghanaians to really know the truth of the Mensah Otabil's tape and other issues that has come up so far as the man is concerned, so far as his church is also concerned. Well, we must admit that in Ghana now, prior to the 2012 elections, as we are all preparing ourselves for, we have come to a stage where we could all classify it as an era of tapes. And as to whether these series of tapes that have come out are true or not, it is only God who knows. An era of tapes where people can sit in their comfort zones, concoct others' voices and turn them into other things just because they want to get political gain out of it. Well, Pastor Mensah Otabil, after listening to the press statement or the press conference that he had today, he made it clear. He is not for NPP, he is not for NDC, he is not for any other political party. His church is an organization that preaches the word of God. And so, if others would want to just get series of issues that he has spoken about throughout his messages and would want to put them together to get something out of it like the NDC did, just to tarnish the man's image, the Bible makes us understand that do not touch my anointed ones or touch my anointed ones and do them no harm. But trust me, as we see today in this country, the NDC has really gone out after all these men of God. From the Christian Council of Ghana to the Archbishop Conference to who, to what, and now it is on Pastor Mensah Otabil and ICGC. So I think that he came out, he has really given his issues out. Ghanaians have really assessed the issues very well. We know where the truth stands. We know what the NDC have done so far as the man is concerned. And trust me, he coming out to speak on the issues to Ghanaians, for Ghanaians to understand, is really going to make issues very clearer. For Ghanaians to know, for others who also do not believe in what the NDC did to also know. And trust me, we are making a headway.
For me, the central point, and I was emotional at the point listening to him, was the fact that the man had a lot of pain speaking to the matter. You could see that he was moved emotionally beyond all point. He makes it very clear that his norm is not to speak to such matters. But the fact that it has happened 3 times, what do you make of the assertion that a government that marshals state machinery and state resources to go after individuals is an evil government?
Thank you. What is happening now, so far as this NDC government is concerned, is something that we can see it is not the first time, it is not the second time. It has been there ever since NDC came into power, and even the NDC 1, NDC 2, now NDC 3. This is their caliber. This is what they like doing. And at any point in time, when the opportunity is given to them, they would want to just get people on board, tarnish people's image. Now, the man of God, Pastor Mensah Otabil, came out. He made it clear that what the NDC is doing is just to tarnish his image. And trust me, the NDC, until he came out, had succeeded in doing that. Until Pastor Mensah Otabil came out this morning to really speak to the issues. You could see that the man is in pain, all because he is a man of God and he believes strongly his ideologies, the things that he preaches on in his chest, does not touch on any of these political issues that NDC is bringing out. He rather want to teach people through the word of God. Trust me. But unfortunately, at the end of it all, what has the NDC done? They have ended up cooking the story, concocting his voice, putting series of tapes that he has done so far just to make something to represent him. And trust me, even if the things that they said Pastor Mensah Otabil spoke against, trust me, who in this country is not embracing the free SHS policy that Nanado and the MPP is talking about? Everybody. And the most painful aspect of it as an individual, as a young person, is that people who have benefited so much from this free SHS policy, we have more than 10 of them who are cabinet members. They are in government. They are controlling the asset of the nation.
Taking huge sums of salaries.
Exactly. And these are the same people who are out and are kicking against the free SHS. What can be more wickedness to this than somebody who has benefited from the free education policy in those days and now coming out to kick against it? I think that they are not being fair to Ghanaians, and Ghanaians must condemn it, kick against them. Come just 24 days from today, we must take them out of power.
Okay, might be.
You see, you said something very significant, that your reaction was the pain he felt. I put it this way, that today he struck a blow for civil society. Civil society, the people that NDC has consistently tried to suppress and keep out of the political process with intimidation, with threats, with force, with insults. The NDC creates the impression that politics is only for the frontline politicians in the parties and the government. Like rape this country, and that anybody else who comes up as a Ghanaian with a right to know what is happening to his resources, to question why, and therefore must be traduced and destroyed. And so you find a situation where many people are hiding in their homes, very aggrieved with what is happening, and yet unable to voice their feelings out. This is a government which started as a dictatorship. And when they compare records, they say, oh, the past 3.5 years, even with democracy, this is their 12th year. NDC 1, NDC 2, NDC 3. If you add the period of dictatorship, they've had 23 years. The NDC have never had a liberal mind. The NDC has traditionally been dictatorial and undemocratic. The NDC cannot tolerate criticism, debate, and dissent. And that's why Dr. Mensah Otabil said, he said, me, I like criticism, I like debate. But when you try to do the things the NDC is doing to me, then you are evil. Okay. To drive a priest to say that, I think it's a clarion call to the rest of Ghanaian society, the leadership of the doctors who have stood up, the leadership of the nurses, the leadership of the engineers, all the professional associations, architects, those who realize that the NDC is driving us into a deep ditch. We want you to rise up and let your voice be heard, because the politics is about you. The politics is about the future of Ghana. It's not about the individuals who make up the political parties. And that's what the NDC wants to do. That's why they're against free education. Because the more people who are educated, the more we'll find out that they are wicked, they are evil, they are destructive, they are incompetent, and above all, they are corrupt.
As we go for our very first break, I want you to think on the words that what would drive a man of God to so much pain that he will come up with such a statement. When we come back, we'll continue with the discussion. Welcome back to Minority Caucus. Tonight's discussion is the politics of propaganda. And with me in the studio are Mr. Yabo Abinga-Samoa and William Boy. We were discussing earlier on the issue of this press conference by Reverend Dr. Mensah Otabil today. And I think that it is right and meets that I just read you a very simple portion of it. And this is what Reverend Dr. Mensah Otabil had to say. that there is a sinister force on the prowl in our nation. It is a force of impunity. It is the force of treachery. It is a force of evil. To keep silent in such a situation is to allow evil to triumph. YB, my question is, what would drive a man of God to such lengths to come out and make such a very damning statement against the government?
It is the evil that the NDC is leading this country into. It is the double-mindedness, the bloody-mindedness, the wickedness with which they are running this country. It is the fact that whenever the NDCs look up, you look down. Otherwise, by the time you tend to look down, your throat is cut. It is that which is driving him to now say, enough is enough. We can't keep sitting in our rooms when this evil marauding force is trying to suppress us and keep us in our rooms. We must speak out. If we don't speak out, they will destroy all of us. That's why he says to keep silent in such a situation is to allow evil to triumph. He uses evil about 3 or 4 times.
7, actually.
7 times. What is evil? Look at the NDC. Look at the NDC. For a government to come into authority and tell lies, the extent to which they told lies, just to grab power, and having grabbed power, for them to sit in a room and decide on a definite plan, conspiracy to steal the monies of the people they're supposed to be looking after. So that what they did was that they budget ahead for judgment debts and then go out looking for people who they can use as surrogates and pay the monies to those people fraudulently and then turn around and share the money amongst themselves. This is a government who...
Now that you mention him, I think it's noteworthy that I say that, you know, with the judgment desk thing, we've been able to trace a train. Looking at the speeches from Mrs. Betty Modidisu, that it was actually a plan to pay judgment debts and use the payments of monies as evidence of causing financial loss to the state. Really, the point was that they were witch hunting 2 people and they were going ahead to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's pay and catch them and put them in jail. And then let's also chop money. How evil can a government get?
Is that not evil? Is that not evil? You are running a democracy. Betty Mould stood on a platform and said all our courts were kangaroo courts, screamed and yelled her head off. And when she came, she then turned to use those kangaroo courts to steal money from us. At the time she was going there to get the money stolen, she didn't realize they were kangaroo courts. When she refused to go to court, and when she knew that Wayomi didn't deserve the money he was asking for, and refused to go to court and defend the suit and got a court stamp on it, was that a kangaroo court process or not? See, these are people who have never had the good of Ghanaians in their hearts. They say they are socialists. They say they are socialists. They refuse to participate in the passage of arguably the single most important social program in Ghana ever, which was the National Health Insurance. Cash and carry was killing people. When you had an accident and you were bleeding to death, they would leave you in the hospital and go home to go and look for money before they would pay for your treatment. Because cash and carry was very strict. If you didn't pay money, you were not treated. By the time people would find money to come back to the hospital, you were dead. You were dead. And Kufuor said, I will never allow this to go on. I am going to make health insurance come true so that Ghanaians can be healthy in order to contribute their quota to this nation. They walked out of parliament, led by John Mahama. They walked out of parliament. They refused to participate. They walked out of parliament. Health insurance comes. It becomes useful. It's serving Ghanaians. Then out of their evil mind, they concoct the one-time premium to destroy people because we were taking a premium every year, a small premium every year. They thought that was a weakness. They go to the people who are vulnerable and say, no, this money you shouldn't pay at all. From cash and carry, you are jumping to one-time premium where you don't pay for anything at all. They knew at the time they were making those promises that they would not fulfill the promises. At the time, President Mills was telling Ghanaians that he was going to reduce the price of petrol drastically. He didn't intend to. It was not his intention to meet that promise. All the things they told Ghanaians before they got into power were things that they didn't intend to do. Schools under trees. It was not in their manifesto. It was when they got into power and they were looking for something to do that they realized that, oh, this was a program that was in the Ministry of Education. Continuing. We were distributing uniforms already, quality uniforms, not these tents that they are distributing. We were distributing exercise books already. We were even distributing bicycles. Yeah. Bicycles for people to find it easier to go to. We added school feeding so that children were well nutritioned and they were able to stay in the classrooms and stay there and learn. So we more than doubled and in some cases tripled enrollment at basic school. We made sure that that level functioned. So they came and met these initiatives. And in continuing, they turned it into a gold mine. In continuing, they turned it. How bloody minded can you get? How wicked and evil can you get that you are in a single digit economy and then you quadruple the cost of delivering infrastructure for a program that you say is benefiting the poor? You are building one school under tree. You came to meet 72,000, and then you are ended up now paying 420,000 for it.
Those are some of the difficulties that we have. But Williams, some of us, I personally cannot understand why or how a government should be such, so sinister in its motive. Can you perhaps in your mind come up with any justification of any sort? The NDC in their defense are saying that it is not they who are putting out such adverts, it is some group called Education Watch. What do you make of that twist?
Education Watch. Who are the people behind Education Watch?
There's one gentleman tonight on another station within the same multimedia platform. His name was George.
No, but we were in this country when the NDC sponsored an organization to take Kennedy Japan to Hague, the International Criminal Court. You were here. We all know what they did. So if today the NDC is telling Ghanaians that NGOs, civil society organization groups or whatever, they must be respected. Since when? What haven't the NDC done to IEA, to Imani, to CDD and the likes?
The Catholic Bishops Conference.
What haven't the NDC done to even men of God like Pastor Mensah Otabil? What haven't they done? You understand?
The moderator of the Presby
There was a very serious bantam between the NDC and the Presby Church to the extent that somebody resigned. Kojo Chumbuafo came out openly that he has resigned from the church. Eventually, when we went in, we even realized that he didn't even have a card.
There was a joke flying around Facebook today that perhaps since the Honorable MP for Adenta is a member of ICGC,
he should also resign.
We should be seeing a resignation.
You understand? So, across board, the NDC, they have attacked almost everything that we have in the country. They have attacked everything. IEA, what didn't they do to IEA? They did everything to bring IEA down, but eventually, they are there. We were told.
Felix Ofosu-Kwakye said that the IEA had sacrificed its integrity for the NPP.
Yes, but they are there today. So the NDC, right from the inception till today, have almost attacked everybody.
Would you call them shameless?
Oh, they should be ashamed of what they have done. They should. They should, because a platform that they condemned issued a press statement. The General Secretary spoke about it. The Propaganda Secretary spoke about it. Everybody within the NDC spoke about it, that they were not going to appear on the IEA platform. And as such, they were going to create their own IEA. You know their own IEA that they created?
Yeah,
that the president was going to present policies to the nation in 14 days after the death of the late president.
40 days, yeah.
40 days. But what did we see? He created it didn't work, so they had to just take a very sharp U-turn and come to IEA. And even eventually, if the president came to the IEA, you've seen the performance.
But I'll tell you what, now that you mention it, I was doing an analysis of the promises that he made at that critical policy forum. Out of the 168 promises that he's done, he's managed to, hoodwink Ghanaians into a performance of at least about 7 of them, and the rest of them are undone.
Oh, yes. You should not expect anything above. Even the 7, for me, I think he's done well, because we never expected him to even implement one. You understand? But the truth of it is that the NDC, they have attacked every organization. This Education Watch or Education whatever, we must know those who are behind it. And if those behind it are very credible, then it means that the NDC must apologize to Ghanaians to the number of civil society organizations that they have attacked, to the men of God that they have attacked, to the Presby Church, to the ICGC, everybody they must apologize to.
Here's a pointer on it. When the statements came out, and I want you to handle those. When the statements first came out, or when the tape was first played, the NDC reacted to it, congratulating Pastor Mensah Otabil for having come out to make such a statement. When it came out that, oh, the statement is actually not true and that they've been pieced together and spliced up and all of that, the NDC is now attacking the person of Reverend Mensah Otabil. I remember hearing a Deputy Minister of Information, James Ajanim Boateng, questioning the integrity of Reverend Dr. Mensah Otabil on the basis that even if what he said has been pieced together from so many sources, they are still his thoughts and so he must stand by them.
You see, that is where the evil comes in. That's why an NDC person can look you straight in the face and tell you that I'm delivering free uniforms, but free education is bad. The double speak in their same thinking. Why did they do that? They thought Pastor Mensah Otabil appeared to have a perception of being MPP. Why? Because he was reasonable. He tries to achieve a higher ground. He tries to deliver hope and reasonableness. And that's the MPP. The MPP is the government that holds this nation together and tries to achieve clear, reasonable milestones. Prepared to debate the issues and get to the bottom of the matter and bring great minds together. And that is why they had this perception he was MPP. He tells us he's not. He doesn't belong to any party because as a pastor, he can't afford to belong to a party. All manner of people are in his church. And he tries to reach even across the religious divide and to other faiths with a message that uplifts the human spirit. That's what he says. So they thought that once we have Mensah Otabil, who is perceived to be MPP, condemning the MPP's flagship campaign proposal, major policy agenda, which is going to be implemented, and which they realized was sinking them because they have never been able to do this before. Then they thought, why not? Let's say that Mensah Otabil, who is one of them, is against that policy. That was the entire conspiracy. And that's why they spliced that tape together. It was deliberately done. It was taught up evil processes by evil-minded people. Put the tape together.
Old dwarfs.
I don't even know whether this one was the dwarves or the babies with sharp teeth. Maybe they came together to do the conspiracy.
The conspiracy.
You know. But it is very clear that that was the intent. Come out and say that Mensah Otabil, who appears in their perception to be MPP, is totally against the MPP's policy. So he comes out, the tape is played, then they clap and say, oh, wonderful. Then the follow-up action, which they thought would happen, because that's how they would have reacted. That's how they always react, was that they expected MPP to start a fight with Mensah Otabil and start exchanging words. So, no, it's a democratic space. Everybody has a right to have their own opinion, even within the MPP. Even within the MPP, there are those who have raised voices about implementation challenges and all, even within the MPP. And they are all senior members of the MPP. That is the MPP for you. Reason and reason it through, criticize and polish it for the benefit of the people. So it has backfired. Because once we didn't attack Otabil, they were left hanging with their debate and they had to move a step forward. So then they increased the, you know, they're playing it all over the country on information vans. Yeah. So they increased the tempo and tried to bring other bits and pieces. And that is where Otabil loses his temper. And the whole thing is backfired.
And that is the MPP for you. We think about policies, we think about things that will benefit you and put it up for you. We'll take our second break and come back.
News is topical. It is the latest and most compelling of events. On Top Story, we bring you the top story, the day's leading news item in 15 minutes. It's sharp, focused, and is live.
Every weekday at 5:30 p.m. on Joy News on Multi TV, on radio and online.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
In another very serious display of wickedness at governmental level, DSP Gifty Maonyaga Tehoda, in case you've forgotten who she is, that woman who was accused of having helped the cocaine turn into baking soda, had apparently written a petition to the president on the 25th of September 2012 through the National Security Advisor. What you must know is that in that petition, she mentioned the names of the very individuals who had actually done the cocaine swap, as she alleged. Apparently, all of this information was made available to the BNI in previous encounters with them, yet they refused to do anything about it and sought to make her a scapegoat. After the petition got to the hands of the president on the 25th of September 2012, till date, nothing has been done about it. Personally, I am worried, and so must you. Williams, I'm worried about the fact that the state is no longer interested in the motto of Ghana, freedom and justice. I'm worried about the fact that the leadership of this country seems to be on a path of self-gratification such that they will sacrifice anybody who stands in their way. Where are we going as a nation?
Yes, what is happening now in this country, for me, I always thank God because the day of redemption is just around the corner. We have just barely 24 days to go. So all these things eventually will come to an end. But trust me, when you take the NDC, when issues begin to crop up, their first approach to the issues, when it begins, it ends there. What didn't we see in the Woyomi issue? People were arrested unlawfully. Till today, Lawyer Boabia Samoa sitting here do not even know his charge. What he did before he was arrested. There are others who were arrested and they did not charge or they were not charged.
Another deputy director of communications sustained a scar.
Yes.
You know, she had to be taken to hospital and so on. Such brutality.
You see, so with the Woyomi issue, a lot of things happened. Till today, where have we gotten to? Are we still retrieving our money? Are we going to get it? The lackadaisical attitude is what has brought us far to this point. Now, this woman, we knew what happened. We heard a lot. So many committees of inquiries were formed. A lot of investigations went in, the BNI, the national security, and all those things. A lot came out. Till today, what have we heard? Nothing. Now the woman is spilling the beans. And we must know what went in. The beans is being spilled. She assured Ghanaians that she was going to spill the beans very soon, and eventually, the day is now. She is doing it. So what is government going to do about it? We should not forget about the fact that some years ago, the NPP was tagged as what? Drug parties. I am always going to say this, that in those eras, when cocaine turned into what? Kokonte. One way or the other, kokonte is a food, we can eat it. But what about sodium bicarbonate? Washing powder? Can we eat it? You understand? So you see the angle and how sometimes putting wrong information out there can turn back to us. And that is what has happened to the NDC. They tried it years ago. It didn't work. And now it is happening. So for me, I think that the government, going by the country's motto, freedom and justice, we've not been able to uphold that. We've thrown it away. We trample and steps upon individuals' rights, thinking that at the end of the day, people must be sacrificed. We sacrifice them and we don't get anything out of it.
Okay. That's very instructive. But Mr. Yababenyasamwa, I just want to draw your mind. You are a lawyer. I just want to draw your mind to a couple of things. This is a government that came into power on the back of an I care for you slogan. This is a government that has gone back to resuscitate a dead law, causing fear and panic. It is this same government that has shown its penchant to attack any individual, anybody who they deem not to be standing in their favor. And sometimes the extent to which they can go. Now we have a president who has promised bulldozer action. How are young men like my type supposed to feel in a country like this? How do I know that tomorrow a bulldozer will not be chasing me through the streets of Accra because probably I've sat on this show?
They want to intimidate you. You must refuse to be intimidated. And that is what Pastor Mensah Otabil said. That a marauding, evil force, Machiavellian, a Machiavellian force, it is trying to suppress all of Ghana so that we only take what they tell us, not what they do behind after they've told us. If we allow them to get away with it, they will destroy this country. That is why we must vote them out. How come the president pretends to the whole world that Merchant Bank has not been sold? And it turns out Smith has used $79 million worth of Smith pension funds to buy the debt of his brother. And he pretends that he doesn't know anything about it and it hasn't been sold. How come he goes to cut the sword in Wa for a regional hospital and creates the impression that there's a regional hospital in Wa that they are constructing and all that, and then Dr. Mahmoud Baumia goes there and exposes him, and apart from there, there's nothing on the ground, and they have paid the guy $18 million.
In Hassan, in Hassan Ayaga's terms, the land is standing there.
Exactly. The land is literally standing there. There's nothing there. It's just standing there. Not a brick. Not a brick on that land. Yet the NDC and John Mahama have managed to pay the man $18 million. Now, Embraer jets. Oh, we needed to airlift people so that this and that. Then the price blew up and they divided the money. Oh, the states are $1 million. They thought that was what would convince us. It turns out the president, the late president, was so outraged. He was going to investigate the current president. That one too, nothing has been heard. It's covered up and it's all nice and dandy. And then they come back and tell us that they are working for you. They are working for themselves all the time, and they are trying to suppress you so that you don't ask them any questions. That is where it gets to Tehoda, and it gets very interesting. This is a bunch of people who sacrificed the reputation of this country against a government that was working with international authorities to try and control the drug trade. A government that was transparent about what was happening in the drug trade, was reporting all that was going on, and therefore you could follow the information about it. What did they say? They said the country's economy was being financed through cocaine. They painted the entire government as a cocaine
government.
Yes.
Till today, they still say it.
Well, they've stopped saying it now because it stinks so badly. The late president went to stand in parliament and say cocaine here, cocaine there, cocaine everywhere. He was going to establish a commission or whatever to investigate cocaine. As we speak, probably this era is when the most drugs have been exported from Ghana, including the largest consignment of Indian hemp in Tampi, ever. Swan Tampi, say the Wohunye. And the disgrace, they facilitate it through the airport and then they are picked up outside. Not just in London, but also in America. It's so disgraceful. They are able to facilitate it to move out of Ghana, and yet all the information is suppressed. So if they are not arrested there, then you don't get to hear anything here. And the impression is created as if nothing is happening here. They are not fighting the trade here. And now we are told by an insider who probably was promised that, oh, the matter will die. You go forward. And then she realizes the matter is not dying. So she comes out and tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and names the person. This is the person who has the key, who took the thing. And the information is to the president. My brother, he won't do anything about it.
But that's wickedness.
Have you heard of Ghana Gas?
Yeah, I have.
$40 million. Have you heard of the flow meter?
Yeah. The issues with the flow meter.
You go and buy a brand new car. Brand new car. And the speedometer doesn't work. Only the speed, because your feet are so heavy. You want to fly. So you don't want to know that you are over speeding. So you destroy the speedometer. Brand new car. You build FPSO from Singapore arrive in Ghana, and the single instrument which checks how much oil is being taken away gets destroyed for over a year. You are not able to replace it. Then you are using a ruler. Now, if you are not interested in stealing the oil, would you do that to us? So these are people who are organized in the stealing. They are a syndicate. They are evil. They are evil-minded people. They are chopping our money, nyafu, 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 nyafu. And they don't want us to know. And they pretend. They say they are working for us. They say it's a better Ghana agenda. They say it's single-digit inflation. They say they have put schools under trees. They say they are sharing free uniforms. Yet, you will never see anything that they have done.
Ghost projects have become the order of the day, and this is the government that we voted for 4 years ago. Perhaps as we take this break, take some time and think about it. They don't deserve your vote. You can now join this discussion with your views and thoughts by calling the number 030-2211-70124. I repeat the number again, 030-2211-70124. And the text lines, as always, have remained 1760. I repeat, 1760, all networks. The interesting thing is that some of us joined politics to make a difference in the lives of the ordinary people. We think that political power is supposed to be used to make a difference. This is not politics. This is evil, this is sinister, this is Machiavellian, and this is a government that must be shown the door. I have a caller from Boko. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
My brother, how are you?
Yeah, fine. This Inusa calling from Bolgazongo Youth.
Yes,
Thank
boss.
you very much. Yeah. As we are talking about the president and his people, the evil dwarfs and the corrupt leaders, you see, I see the president to be the most wicked person in this country that we have. Somebody who has benefit from the free secondary school or free education in the northern sector when he was moved from southern sector to come to Tamale and attend his free education. Today, he's locking the door for the whole country not to benefit from that free secondary school that Nana is bringing. Yes, straight to this point, he's claiming that he's a Nordina. He came to Bolga Zorongo. He's praising himself that it's high time that now they vote for a Nordina to become a president. Yes, today we believe a Nordina could have been a president when he could have supported the Nordiners who came and left this country. People like Edward Mama, late Lima. This president, he was in parliament when he walked out. When something was coming to benefit the people of this country, he walked out of parliament. And
Okay.
today, look at what they are doing to our people. The health insurance, now they are going around telling people that bring it. In northern sector, we will register you. Something that you think that is not good. Why should you go and tell the people that they should bring their card, you will go and register them again and make sure that they benefit.
Thank you
So
very much, my brother. We'll take Kissinger now from the Volta region. Kissinger, can you please turn down the volume on your TV set? Thank you very much. Yes, boss.
Good evening.
Fine evening, my brother.
Yeah, Nana, I want to tell you something this night. Nana, I am telling you that this government is a government that nobody cannot trust them. Because, Nana, as of now we are here, they are saying that they are sharing school uniform free to the schools in Ghana. But as of now we are here, in Keta, voter region, I didn't hear anybody say that they collected that free uniform they are talking about. You see, they're just lying people, lying Daniels, that they are sharing school uniform free. Nana, I said, Nana came to the voter region last. If you see people, people are saying that, Nana, this free education you are talking about, we are going to vote for you massively because.
Thank you very much, Kissinger.
8 billion, 12 billion. They don't have that money to pay the even admission fee to their children.
That is why we must vote for Nana Akufo-Addo. Okay. Kissinger, I'm sorry, we'll have to take Kashia from Go. So, Kashia, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, nice to have you on the show.
Okay, thank you very much. I greet you about Samoa. I'm calling away from God, so I'm from the Young Patriots Chairman. You know, I'm really happy. You've really explained things fast. You know, this government is full of propaganda. You know, when you come to a Sinafuno, they will tell you if you go to any thing, we have provided over 1,000 school uniforms. We went there, but 200 students. Only 5 people had the uniforms. You know, you see this propaganda. Now, Ghanaians are really yearning for the free quality education. This time around, Ghanaians are really understand it. When you go to a Sinafuno all over, people are ready for another Akufo-Addo. One thing that we are saying is that when you vote number 1, you are voted for JPL, with the judgment day manager. If you vote number 3, you are voted for the free quality education. Our children, our youngsters are going to benefit from free education. Look at the hypocrisy that the president is doing. President who has benefited from free education, and now you are speaking against it. Now Ghanaians are ready.
Thank you very much, my brother. I love your passion. We'll now go to Cape Coast and take BJ. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, boss.
There is something that the NDC people are going about faking. I call it faking because it's not true.
Yes,
they are
boss.
going about painting toilets, which the MPP built, and they are saying they did that.
Okay.
So it's in their, I don't know if it's called green posters or something.
Yeah, Green Book.
Yeah, no, this one is posters, so we call it green posters. which is very bad. You go to Cape Coast Institute and they paint. They did that.
Okay.
So it's very bad.
All right, we'll take notice of that. Aminu from Tamale, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
No. Fine, sir. I mean, your mama and his people, when you are thinking about them, I think they just come to root Ghana. I don't know what they were doing. You are so far here giving a view that is free education. The free things are meaning. You also can choose something that's free. And then you are condemning it. What is the use of you are condemning it? That means you don't have any view to Ghana. You just come to rob Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. There's a statement. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. I repeat that. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who seek to do it. Boy, your last words.
Yes, I want to go out and reach all Ghanaian youth, those who fall within my category, my age mates, that the future is very bright with the new patriotic party. The future of this nation again belongs to us, with the youth. We must not allow anybody to think that it is not possible. Anybody who has not developed the can-do spirit to really detract us from what we are capable of doing. Let us get everything into our own hands and make sure that within the next 24 days left, when the redemption day really comes, we vote and vote massively against the NDC that has really messed up with the youth of this nation, so that together with the NPP, we will get to our desired destination as youth of this country.
The redemption song is being sung by Williams. Sir, your last word.
President John Mahama has declared his own failure. He has failed because if he had succeeded on his northern trip, he would have been talking about SADA and the benefits the people have got. Instead, he has elevated himself into a god and he's telling them that worship me because I'm of you. Meanwhile, that worship that he wants them to worship him is not going to benefit them. it is creating questions down south. He's saying he was tired of being vice president. Does that mean that he knows something about how somebody went to heaven? Is that why he's
followed by a cameraman?
Is that why he's refusing to investigate the real circumstances surrounding the very suspicious death of the late president? Because he was tired of being vice president, he had to be president at all costs. So now he goes to stand before people, Ghanaians, voters, and tells them that I am of you, vote for me. He didn't tell them that my office has brought you benefits as Ghanaians all over the world. He's saying, just because I am of you, vote for me. Meanwhile, vote for me because I am tired of where I stand. I want to be somebody else. Not for your benefit. I want to be somebody else. And that questionable statement, I want to be somebody else because I'm tired, goes to the fact that we are asking John Mahama to tell us what happened to President Mills on the day a mere four-wheel drive with 2 security people took him from the castle to 37 military hospital without even a motorcycle to clear the way, without the place being prepared to receive the president. When did the president die? 10 a.m. or 1 p.m.? He should tell us.
All right. I'll read to you, viewers, something that Reverend Mensah Otabil said today. And what he said was that he's a simple man. He doesn't have the police. I'm a simple person too. That's why you have to vote out this incompetent, vindictive government. Good night.